Hello and welcome back to another Minecraft episode from the RambleSMP server. My name is Scorpios and today we are going to be building a cyberpunk apartment building. So right now we're looking at the industrial district of my season 2 survival base, and one thing that you may notice here is that most of the buildings are very similar in height, and as we expand our base we are going to start building into other areas of this base where buildings are going to be much taller. And today is going to be the day for us to start building a residential district for our base. So with that said, in today's video I'm going to showcase an entire build project, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out the other episodes from this survival series, and make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more build videos from this channel. So after scouting around in my base, I've landed on an ideal spot for building a residential district, and that is going to be in the direction that we're looking at right now, where as you can see the skylines of this base is still pretty open, which throughout the rest of this season is going to change. So a while back I created this sideway here, and the back of this area here right now is just the open ocean space, which means the first project that I'm going to work on in today's episode is going to be a street expansion in this area here. So I'm going to do some work off camera and I will be right back. And now behind these buildings we have a new area for us to develop, so let's go take a look. And as you can see here, we started building this pretty sizable road section here. So this road here is going to be 10 blocks wide, and in fact it is going to be one of the widest roads inside of this base. So yeah, this is going to be one of the main roads and it is going to be pretty visible. So as you can see here, I built in some curvature to this road here, and on the other side of this road I have created this massive platform. This platform is going to allow us to put a pretty sizable structure in this space right here. And with all of the road construction out of the way, it is time for the main part of this episode. So let's go ahead and start putting down blocks. So the first thing that we're going to do is to draw out the outer boundaries of this rectangle. And now that we have laid down a floor plan, the next step is actually to tweak this floor plan before we build up. So the first thing that we're going to do here is to come to this wall in the back here. And what we're going to do here is to extend this block out by 3 blocks. And in fact, we're going to move an entire wall section out by 3 blocks. So we're just going to create this shape like this. So as you can see here, we now have this section that is exactly 12 blocks wide, and over on this side here, we are going to do something similar by taking down the next 12 blocks, but we are going to do something different, and in fact, we are actually going to reduce this wall by a few blocks. So as you can see here, this wall used to be here, and we're going to move it back by 2 blocks over here. And for the same reason, we are going to add a few more tweaks to this foundation before we start adding more layers. So one thing that we can do here is on this wall here, we can take out 3 blocks and we are going to expand this whole area out by 2 blocks. So exactly like this. And let's come over to this wall here in the back and sort of do the same thing on this corner here. Once again, we're going to take out 3 blocks in the middle of this wall here and move these 3 blocks forward by 2 blocks. So we're going to do exactly this, and let's do the same thing for this wall here. And for this side of this building here, we can actually do something different. So as you can see here, once again, we're going to take out 3 blocks. And in fact, let's make it 4 blocks wide, because why not? And what we're going to do here is actually move this section inward by 2 blocks. So we're going to put down a structure like this. Alright, and when we take a look from above, we can clearly see that there is a complex floor plan being developed, which is fantastic. The next step is to start building up. And for this step here, we are literally just going to add more layers to this brick foundation. So here in my design, I'm going to bring this brick foundation up to 6 blocks tall. So we're going to go ahead and do exactly that. So following the layout, we now have a brick foundation for this apartment building, and we have a staircase that goes up using purple terracotta. We're going to start building the very first apartment of this project. So let's say that we start on this corner here, so we're just going to start by putting down a layer of these purple terracotta blocks, and we're just going to build along the brick walls exactly like this. And of course, because this is a balcony here, we are going to have an inner wall, so we will have 2 layers of walls here. And we're going to expand the walls off to this direction as well. And for this balcony here, we're going to pretty much do the same thing. So we're going to add an inner wall on this layer here. And of course, later on, we can probably take down this block here and add a door. And that is going to turn this into a proper balcony. But for now, we're just going to keep building. So on the front side here, we're just going to create a flat wall, and over on this wall here we are going to create a bit of a wall, but it's not going to connect all the way. So here we're just going to put down, let's say 6 blocks on this wall here, and after that we're actually going to switch to using white terracotta. So we're going to start building this wall here, and I think we can probably fit a balcony here. So we're going to have a balcony that is 5 blocks wide. But here overall, we're going to create this wall that is going to be 12 blocks wide. And the third apartment here is going to be on the right side right here. So once again, we're just going to start building along the brick foundation here. And once again, we have a balcony here. So let's create a double wall. And on the front here, we are going to also create a front wall, and we're going to make this front wall 1 block outside of this white terracotta wall here. So let's start building over. And I think that we can probably fit another balcony right here. So let's do exactly that. Let's fit a balcony in this corner here. And as you can see here, we've now developed a nice floor plan for these apartment buildings. And I'm going to start adding more levels to this floor plan here. And I ended up doing more work on this foundation here, so let's go take a look at what is going on here. So in order to cover up the brick wall behind it, I added these decorative columns, and I also did the same thing on this wall here as well. So I'm having some second thoughts about this balcony here, and the reason being that this balcony is 2 blocks out from this wall, which ends up taking up a lot of space. And as you can see here, we have a bit of a tight turn over here. So I'm thinking of moving this balcony back by 1 block, which should give us more space in this area here. So we're going to use a design by putting down 3 blocks over here, and let's clear out the area behind here as well, and patch up this part of the wall by moving it 1 block behind, exactly like this. And I think that is a much better placement for a balcony. Alright, so this foundation is looking pretty good so far. I really hope you enjoyed that time lapse. And as you can see here, we have completed the main structure of this building. And down here, we have already placed down a temporary roof, and we've done the same thing over on this side as well. So the last step here is to cover up the roof of this central tower here. And here we go. Now that we've covered up the roof here, we're going to try to make our way down to the ground and take a look at what we've built. And guys, this is why I highly recommend wearing an elytra while constructing something like this, because otherwise it will be very easy to drop down there and splash everywhere. So I think I will be okay here, so I'm going to try to jump down. And look at that. This project is not even complete, and it is already adding a lot to this base. At this stage, we pretty much still have these large boxy structures. That is going to quickly change once we start moving on to the next step. And one thing I did notice is that I made a mistake while I was placing down blocks. So we now have these 2 balconies that are actually connected. But now that I'm looking at this, this actually looks pretty good. So from this mistake, I actually have an idea that I kind of want to try out. And after some work, we have made some progress here. So I worked out a pattern on this wall here, and I think it looks pretty good. It is a combination of this zigzag pattern with a straight wall that goes all the way down to the ground level, and we have a variation of this pattern on this side here. And now that I've taken a step back and looking at this all together, I think there is one spot that I want to fix. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'm going to get up there using these blocks here. So we're going to stack up until we reach about the right height. All right, we've reached the correct level, so let's start working here. So we're going to take down these blocks here, and we're going to transplant them right over here. All right, I think I like this. This just feels right. This just feels right. And that is one thing I like about building in Minecraft. Oftentimes I have to make minor adjustments here and there, and sometimes you just make that one tweak and everything just sort of come together. But anyways, back to our video here. As you can see here, off to the side, I have also started working out some windows. And off to the side here, I have also placed down a pipe using some blackstone walls. So I'm going to create an open space right here. And another one over here. So these are going to be 2 blocks wide and 3 blocks tall. So we're going to put down a double door here and maybe some additional blocks up here. Alright, so let's work out the third entrance right over here. And after that, we're going to add windows on these walls here. And that is looking pretty good so far. So I'm going to go ahead and add a few more windows on these walls here. So I will be right back. And would you look at that? That is a lot of progress. We have not only chiseled out all of the windows, we have also put in safety bars on all of these windows as well. So the next thing that I'm going to work on here are going to be these doors. And here I'm going to be using the same double door design that I've used throughout the rest of this base. So we're going to come in here. So let's make this entrance area here 2 blocks deep, and that is going to allow us to put down a layer. Oops, wrong direction there. All right, take 2. So anyways, having this area here 2 blocks deep is going to allow us to put down double doors exactly like this. So we're going to put down 2 doors here and 2 more doors on the outside. And here we go, that is a double door. And let's also make sure to put down some trapdoors here. And once we close the doors here, you can see that this double door is coming together quite nicely. So here I'm just going to do the same thing for all of the other doors here. Alright, and now that we have placed down all of these doors, so because of the unique color of terracotta blocks, we will actually be using a very simple texturing process, and the only block that we are adding here are going to be these purple blocks. So off camera, I completely demolished an entire end city just so that I can gather all of the purple blocks that I'm going to need for this building. And I think this whole process is going to make more sense if you look at it from a third-person perspective, which means I'm going to jump into a second time lapse of today's episode. Alright, so that was a quick time lapse. I actually went back and did some minor adjustments here and there just to make the texturing more evenly spread out. And as you can see here, the added texture actually changed quite a lot to the exterior of this building here. And unfortunately, because we are running out of time, I did not get to decorate the backside of this building, but that is something that I'm going to work on in between episodes. But for now, the next thing that I want to work on here is adding texture to this brick base. And this is something that I did not plan in advance, so I'm just going to throw in some granite blocks and sort of create a pattern here on this wall. And so far, I think this is looking pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and cover the rest of this wall here with more granite blocks. And I think overall this building is looking pretty good so far. I wanted to include these purple blocks to create the effect that paint is chipping off from the surface of the walls. And I think when we take a step back, the colors actually do blend in quite well. So that is a good news. And the next thing that I'm going to do here is to add a few more of these pipes along the side of this building here. So I think it makes sense to add at least 1 pipe on each side of this entire structure. So here I'm just going to connect this all the way to the ground. And after laying down some pipe work, we still have some work to do on the rooftop here. So right now I'm standing on top of this middle tower, and as you can see here, this structure that we're standing on top of is the tallest building inside of our base right now. We are going to be building taller structures later down the road, but for now there are a few things that I would like to place on top of this roof here. So the very first thing that I can think of would be a water tower, or I guess some type of water storage, and that is going to supply water for this entire building. So I think in terms of color, these quartz blocks are going to make sense. So I'm going to start by putting down a base here. And to seal this off, we're going to put down some more stair blocks and some half slabs on top here just to top it off. And here we can see the final product of this water tower, and I think it is not too outrageous. It is very easy to spot on the rooftop, but I think as we add more things to the rooftop, we will sort of balance things out. So the next thing that I'm going to build next to this water tower is going to be a roof access point. And for this step here, we are going to cut open part of the roof. And we are going to put down some stone brick blocks. And as you can see here, I'm definitely going to have my elytra on for this operation, because if you look down there, wow, this structure is tall. So I'm definitely going to patch this up because I would not want to drop down there. And on top here, we're just going to add some more terracotta blocks. And after that, I'm just going to put down some half slabs just to top this off. And on top here, we're going to put down more decoration. So for this step here, I'm going to start by putting down some black stone wall. And we'll put down some iron bars on top here as well. Alright, let's take a flight and see how this is going. I think this is looking alright. Could definitely use a few more things to decorate this rooftop. What if we enclose this rooftop with some iron fence? So here I'm actually running low on iron, so these are going to be the last iron bars that I have in my inventory. But I think this is going to be the best place for placing them down, so I'm going to give it a try and take a look. And I also wanted to add something to the rooftop on this tower here. We're going to create a similar roof access by putting down 3 layers of terracotta blocks. And once again, we're going to seal off the top here. But now, as you can see, we do have a lot of open space on this roof here. So what I'm going to do is to create a roof garden, and the first thing that I'm going to do here is to create a zigzaggy wall. Alright, so here we have created a nice decorative wall. And after that, I'm just going to put down a lot of stone brick walls. So I put down a layer over here, and we're going to skip 1 block, and on this block here, we're going to put down some more stone brick walls. And we're just going to do it until we sort of cover this entire roof here. So we're going to cover up this area here as well. So we're going to have this column to support this entire stone structure, and we're going to put down another one of these on this side here as well. And now that we have created this very nice gardeny structure overseeing this entire industrial district, I'm just going to grab some leaf blocks, and I'm just going to fill up all of the gaps here with some leaves. So I'm just going to click away and fill up this entire area here, and some more on the inside here as well. We now have a very nice roof garden right here, and it looks like someone forgot to take down the scaffolding here, so I'm going to retrieve this scaffolding here. And well, that is how I built this apartment building in Minecraft. I did do some planning in preparation for this video, but there was still so much for me to learn during this building process, and in the upcoming episodes I will be doing a lot more construction in this area here, and we are actually going to be building a lot more skyscrapers in this entire base. So if that is something that you enjoy watching, make sure to stay tuned for future episodes. Thank you so much for watching this episode, and with that said, I will see you guys in the next episode.